I said this on my blog a little while ago. They are trying to take over the world.
Look at me and my blog is what you said.
Nobody...
Look at this big blog.
I wrote the same thing in snore with my urine.
Nobody on earth has ever boasted about having a blog to be cool.
Till today.
So...
Yeah, but he's
spider.
already bought every house in Britain, so he needs to move somewhere.
Lost more space. I've had a little project recently, lads, that I didn't immediately tell you about. A couple of weeks ago, I was hearing, I think everyone was hearing, that Gerard Houllier was supposed to be moving to Aston Villa.
Which has since, of course, happened, obviously. Yeah.
Which has since, of course, happened. Now, I went on to Wikipedia and added a club to his fine history as a football manager. I added the 5th Division, I think the 5th Division side, semi-pro sort of fifth tier in French football, Carquefou. I think that's how you pronounce it. I added it to his Wikipedia page like about a week and a half before. Yeah. I am. That is my title.
What, to
basically see if anybody picked up on it, basically, because you know, Wikipedia's a great resource.
And you're abusing it.
Yeah, and you want to ruin it for everyone.
Pretty much. So anyway, I put Carquefou as his first club before he went elsewhere. And bearing in mind he started his managerial career at 26, 27.
Yeah,
this would have made him even younger. So I wrote that he did Carquefou part-time. 2 people picked up on it. They didn't
you
pick
monitored
up
the press?
I monitored who was going to be using that piece of information. One of which was Yahoo Eurosport. They just said that he started his career at Carquefou part-time, which is incorrect, completely incorrect.
Yeah.
It's a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind he was a headmaster or something at a school,
right.
He would have had to travel a fair whack anyway. Wow. And also the Aston Villa website. They also...
that is more disappointing for me.
They repeated our lies. My lies.
Don't tar me with this brush.
I'm tarring you with this brush.
Surely they've got his CV. Just take it off that.
But I like to think that a late night surf from Mr. Houllier, just surfing his own website, going, "Oh, I'm so pleased to be here. I did not start there. I was not part-time manager."
In my head, it's something like the website editor bumps into Houllier in the corridor at Villa. Sort of goes, "Yeah, I was a big fan of your time at..." and he's thinking, "What? What are you talking about?"
What dick.
Great work, Pete.
By the end of it, he'll be going, maybe I did manage that. Everyone seems to be saying it.
Did I win anything? Internet terrorist Pete Donaldson. Woo! Good man.
Marvellous.
So watch out.
The history of football has been distorted.
Wrestling us back to reality.
Okay.
With an email. Rambleford Hall.
Oh.
This is from Scott in Liverpool.
Hello.
Alright, Scott. He says, during a very nice meal for graduation at my university, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed none other than new Liverpool manager Roy Hodgson walking into the bar. After some deliberation, I decided to go over and ask for a photo. I presume he means to take a photo, not just ask him if he got a photo. He agreed, got a couple of photos from him, and he even asked me questions and my opinions on the club and players. That's not really a good sign.
Because I am lost.
Roy, have the courage of convictions if you're listening. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to.
Been nice.
Yeah, he was, and Scott's delighted that he's Liverpool manager. So it leads him on to the question of who do you think is the nicest personality in football, either player or manager? After speaking to Roy, I would have to say him. Thanks for the podcast, lad. That's from Scott and Liverpool.
Thank you.
Ooh. So who are you going for, chaps? For nicest personality in football, I'm going to go straight in there with Joey Barton.
I don't think you're being serious.
Okay, Craig Bellamy.
Round Riquelme.
Yeah.
Peter Beardsley.
Beardo!
Apparently Peter Beardsley has done a lot to help out Paul Gascoigne as well, so he does have a really sort of
not done a great job, has he?
Well, but he's trying, isn't he?
That's the least controllable football. He can't shimmy with Gazza.
No, exactly.
Can't do the Beardsley shimmy.
Dear, oh dear.
What are you doing, Gazza? I've kicked the ball that way, but you've gone completely the wrong direction.
Do us a favour, Beardo. Don't put that one on your CV. Not going to get you anywhere.
It's your own choice. You're undermining.
Oi! Come on.
Let's just gloss over that little...
There we are. The only place we can go now...
Yeah.
Is Diego Corner.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, it won't go away. And Luke's gone there
We've rented it out
to bring you some quite magnificent scenes from South America, Luke.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Hello.
How's it going?
We can hear you.
Right, not too bad. Thanks for asking. Yeah, basically, Diego is still being Diego Maradona.
Yeah, well, that was always going to be the case.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was always. I think he was always like this, but I'm much more aware of it now because I know that I've got to deliver in Diego Corner, so I'm always. it doesn't ever pass me by anymore.
Now you've got a passport to Diego Corner.
Yeah. Well, I'm the custodian.
Are you?
Yeah, really. No one else is here. Yeah, the best thing is, I mean, I've got a few things that he's been up to,
right.
and you might have seen one or two of them, but I'll lead with the best one, which is basically, you remember last week we talked about him going to see Hugo Chavez?
That's right.
Who's obviously the Venezuelan president.
Well, they're just going to play a bit of football and softball.
They're knocking about, playing a bit of football, softball.
It must be
cigars.
Sort of, I'd imagine they're just chilling, they're probably not doing anything harmless.
Things have taken a much more serious twist.
Knife fight.
Do tell.
Well,
do
basically,
tell.
you know, well, I'm not sure if anyone knows, and I'm no
Pete,
expert.
did you just shout knife fight?
Yeah, they've got to. They've got to be
that serious.
I reckon they would.
Stay tuned.
I bet they do a bit of Russian roulette.
But anyway, so I'm no expert in international relations. But you may have seen in the news recently that Venezuela and Colombia have had quite strange relations, and it's basically around.
Who would have thought?
Colombia are accusing Venezuela of housing sort of Colombian rebels and looking after them and all this sort of stuff. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll get back to you. I'll ask Diego next time I see him. But Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez addressed the nation.
Well, don't Colombia sort of have a few links to the US?
Well, exactly.
There's some little thing there. And
to cut a long story short, Chavez isn't happy with Colombia, and he took an opportunity to give an interview addressing the nation about, you know, what his plans were, what he was going to do, how he feels about Colombia, what the sort of border relations are going to be like. Diego was there.
Diego's by his side.
Standing next to him. Yeah.
Oh.
And Diego chipped in. Saying, I will support Hugo. It's not even Venezuelan. It's not even Venezuelan.
Oh my God.
But he chipped in saying, I will support Hugo Chavez until his ideals to the end. It's an honour to be at his side because he fights for his ideals, for the people, for his country. I am with him until death.
It's like we were saying earlier, this World Cup is taking over the world in a very terrifyingly real way.
I just like the fact that I can imagine Diego being exactly at ease with international foreign policy as he is with football, to be fair.
It'll be alright.
It'll be fine.
Why are you not signing your new contract to be Argentina coach for another 4 years there? Well, I've been in Venezuela, to be honest. But let me put this into perspective.
Starting a bit of a revolution, actually.
Let me put this into perspective. That is like David Cameron saying he's closing the Channel Tunnel and bringing Gazza along. Yeah. And saying Gazza can say, yeah, well, you know, I agree.
I'm with him till death.
You really don't. You don't want
brought a chicken.
Yeah. You don't want Gazza turning up in inappropriate situations, do you?
No,
it must be said actually with that whole thing where Gazza was involved. Surely his plan, right, was to use the fishing rod to get the chicken and the beer into the guy.
Yeah, well, who knows?
Who knows?
But anyway, nice, thanks, mate.
Brilliant.
I've got an email as well.
Go on then. Emails together.
Ramble Force Ho, that one's done properly.
Ho. Take note, Johnny.
I just thought I'd let you know what happened to me at a pub quiz last night. Me and my team, Graham Ricks' under-16s. Can we say that?
Nah,
I don't know.
Come on.
We're doing well, but we're struggling on the somewhat ridiculous media round until this question pops up. Which town does XFM DJ Pete Donaldson originally hail from?
Hello, what? Say again.
Well, surely you know the answer to that.
I was writing down, put a bleep in when Luke says the swear word.
That's amazing, other than the fact that until you realised that Pete was the quizmaster.
Just wanted to get home, he's forgotten how.
What was the question?
The question was, which town does XFM DJ Pete Donaldson originally hail from? This was in the media round, right?
And the pub quiz.
In the pub quiz. Where?
It doesn't actually say.
What's wrong with people? Who would expect... Even I would have trouble with that.
Well, someone got the answer, so obviously you're more famous than you realise.
No, somebody's got an iPhone. Somebody's got an iPhone.
No, well, he knows the answer because he listens to the show, presumably.
Yes.
Well, the email continues to say, as none of my mates listened to the Ramble, losers, they all sat around in bewilderment while I simply replied, "It's Hartlepool!" Needless to say, this answer alone won us the quiz and netted us a cool £50, as we ended up on 46.5 points from 60, compared with our rivals, Crouching Woman, Hidden Cucumber, who finished on 46 points. Keep up the good work, lads. Cheers, Tom Byfield.
Amazing.
What is this quiz? Sort of
I'm
naughty
taking this.
names and Pete Donaldson?
Naughty names and Pete Donaldson. the new TV show.
Great stuff. That's
stuff.
amazing, Pete. You know you've made it when a pub quiz questions are named after you.
Bewildering.
Yeah.
Bewildering.
This wasn't even the only 6-0 of the week.
No. Speaking of penalties, I've just got what I remember to pull you up, not pull you up, but mention Monday Night Football's back. Obviously, we're recording on a Wednesday this week. We normally record on a Monday, so we don't get to see Monday Night Football, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But we saw it this week, and
wow,
it's amazing.
Wowzers!
It's like Brokeback Mountain in the future with football, but with Keys and Gray. But
There's too much for my mind to fathom.
Yeah, but before I move on, Richard Keys says something which is the most amazing example of back logic.
I didn't see Monday Night
Twisted
Football.
logic I've ever heard.
So
He said. He was talking about the penalties and people have been missing penalties and things like that. I mean, Stockdale saved one, Foster saved one, and Carews missed one, and all that sort of thing. And he said, Andy, are penalties getting easier to save? And Andy Gray went...
To his eternal credit, he went, I'm not letting you have that one.
What do you mean, Richard?
What do you mean?
Well, more keepers are saving them.
Yeah. and then Andy Gray proceeded to draw an arrow down every goal. He just said, he kept on forgetting where he was. He was going, where am I? Yeah. Where's the button? And he just kept... It was like a big, stupid gadget showroom.
It was like
getting easier to say.
It was like the ill-fated Saturday afternoon when I tried to introduce my granddad to MSN Messenger. That's what it was like.
What do I press now? What's that little yellow smiley man?
Does he work for those news corporations who go when like kids do really well at their A levels? Our exams getting easier. No,
I did love that little bit of AstroTurf that they put in the corner for Andy Gray to sort of touch each other and sort of he touches Gray a little bit.
Is that officially named the midlife crisis corner? Because
there's a football sat there. There's sort of like a goal net motif at the back. Oh, it's got everything.
I have to confess, I didn't see this. I haven't seen the Monday night.
I was genuinely surprised. I think I was sort of thinking, was this all last season? Because I was a bit scared. They should take the name. Have that on ESPN.
brought it back. No.
Sounds like they should take the name. Is it the wrestling that's called Monday Night Raw?
Yeah,
I think that would probably quite suffice here.
But the worst thing is, mate, it's nothing dissimilar to that. It's exactly what that would be.
Hang on a minute.
If it was football.
It has to be dissimilar.
No, but only because of the sport. That's the only thing that changes it.
Men in a ring.
It just basically serves as another vehicle to just confirm that Andy Gray is a massive flapping vagina of a man.
But yeah, it does have access to many plasma screens.
Yeah, it does. And for that we give him credit.
I just like how he draws all the players. Like he goes, and then he goes there, and then he goes there, and then he goes... Just put them there before you get there, Andy. It's not chess. Come on.
Sorry. It's the best traffic light I've ever sat at.
Apparently, Paul Merson, Perry Grove says in his book, like, he just doesn't know what any words mean.
Yeah,
right? And if someone corrects him, we'll just go, it's the same thing. It's not. It's how you communicate. You need to understand what words are.
No, it's 6.
It's the same thing.
No, it isn't.
Yeah. When I started off, I did a bit of work at TalkSport a long time ago,
Fluffing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my giddy!
I still go back there sometimes.
Blowing Brazil.
Alan Brazil had this. He used to get sent stuff. all the
Horrible
time.
infection.
For those who don't know, Alan Brazil is the presenter of the Breakfast Show on TalkSport.
Is he really? I mean, he's there. His carcass is there. His talking carcass is there.
It's like he's holding the station hostage every morning.
You'd be surprised how true that is. But anyway, he used to get sent stuff all the time because he's a presenter of the Breakfast Show, right? And he gets Perry Grove's autobiography sent through. He gives it to me and goes, "Yeah, do you want that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, right, yeah, cheers." He goes, "Do you want me to sign it for you?" Do I want you to sign someone else's book for me?
Maybe he thought he was Perry Groves.
But I said no. I was like, no, not really.
Bring it in.
I didn't think about it.
You should have said yes. That would be more funny.
Yeah. I have actually known Pete's not a man who likes to overstate the case. He goes to me, "It's the coldest I've ever been. It's the coldest I've ever been."
I was absolutely freezing. The best bit was his posh middle, because I mean Fulham's quite a middle class club, so to speak. And there was this a dad and two, I presume, two of his little sons can't have been older than about 9 or 10.
And they were seen children at football matches.
Well, you know, kids. I mean, they like the idea of football matches, but live football, they like Rooney and they like Lampard and stuff. But I think sometimes if you're younger than 10 and you're at a football match, you're not that interested. You're just not. And they were creating and just being silly. And they had the little the Fulham clacker.
Oh, he's got the
got it with him.
fluffer.
He's got a picture of.
Got a picture of Beardsley on it.
Yeah.
All the seats have them.
Yeah, so I mean, they were just dicking around basically, and the dad brilliantly went. You could see like the love he had for his kids just ebbing away because this beautiful little corner of his life that he still enjoys is just, and they're just creating, and they're not interested. And anyway, he goes, right, well, you're not coming next week, so. and the little kid goes, well, fine, I don't care, father, I don't care, father. Actually says father, right? And then the dad goes, well, if you don't come, you'll have to stay in your room because it's mum's relaxation day. And I was thinking, my mum's never had a relaxation. She's had a crying day before. Where she just cries from morning to night.
Not a conversation here at Newcastle.
Relaxation day. What are you doing acting up?
I'll regale you some tales I've heard of what people have said at Portsmouth, but it might not be acceptable for this. Yeah, cheers, I'll have some of that.
Yeah. That means you'll definitely play like him too.
Yeah. Well, he'll play like me.
Probably. Borussia Dortmund beat Bayern Munich.
Just get on with it and talk about the St. Pauli hot dog train. It's what we're all waiting for.
St. Pauli. They're into the top half of the table. They're ninth. They won away to Hanover.
And how are they celebrating?
That piece of paper.
Yeah.
St. Pauli have installed a model railway to serve supporters in their VIP section with freshly cooked sausages throughout the
That'll be a
game.
good sausage as well in Germany.
Jim, I know what you were thinking. I don't think I could love St. Pauli any more than I would.
And here we are.
They're proving you wrong, haven't they?
Yeah. I didn't even. The term sausage train had never entered my mind before. But it's staying.
I think I've seen that video.
Let me say, though, that it doesn't just stop there. The train runs every 5 minutes, direct from the club kitchen to the VIP section. There's individual beer pumps for each seat and built-in flat-screen TVs for action replays. Now, a little word of caution, that seems all a bit big time for St. Pauli, isn't it?
I think it opens the door for somebody putting like a firework on it and sending it to the away fans. That's all I worry about.
Oh. Flare,
yeah.
You'd have to time it very well.
The train's only for the VIP. It doesn't go all around the stands, man. You know, by the time it gets to the VIP
It's a train. It's a sausage train.
Yeah. There's no rules.
There's no rules to the sausage train.
No, but there is a track.
Oi. Get your ticket and shut up.
All aboard.
Yeah.
Is there a dining car? The whole train is a dining car, sir.
No, instead of having like a buffet car, they've got one car that isn't a buffet. It's like the opposite.
Can I have a beer? There's beer in your chair. What?
Yeah.
Is there a smoking section? Yes, there are smoked sausages available, sir.
Yeah. It's almost like they're expecting a state visit from Paul Gascoigne or something. What will he want? Sausage train, beer in his seat, telly.
Because he's bored.
Best thing.
It just causes more confusion.
Yeah.
The thing is, James is in favour of our technology. I'm against it, but I understand the point you guys are making. When we went to a few UEFA Cup games or Europa League games last season, and it had extra referees and stuff, and they didn't do anything, did they?
No.
They encroached on the pitch at some point, which annoyed me. I thought that was an abuse.
They didn't call blatant penalty decisions. There was one at Fulham with Andy Johnson, wasn't there? It was just clear as day, and the guy was standing right next to it, he didn't say anything. So it's not going to make any difference. If they pipe up, it'll cause confusion. If they don't pipe up, it's pointless.
I tell you what, speaking of Andy Johnson, good to see him
back in the Fulham side.
It is, yeah.
back.
Well, the Fulham
Back
squad.
in the New York groove.
In the New York groove?
Yeah.
Explain that statement.
It's just a song.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, don't.
Grandad.
It's a song on the hit parade.
Why does that make me a
It's by
granddad?
Popular Beat Combo. You might not have heard of it.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
It's not necessarily the most contemporary song. That's why it's funny.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
We're depicting you as a grandfather.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Somewhat out of touch.
Yes.
Pass the Werther's originals around, and I'll go on with the next story. That's a joke.
Yeah.
The Daily Mail and
Grandad.
Barcelona. Are you going to let me finish?
Daily Mail.
It's just noise.
The Daily Mail and Barcelona feature in this next story.
They're not being sponsored by the Daily Mail. That would be a horrifying.
Yeah, imagine that.
From UNICEF to the Daily Mail, launching in Spain for some
It's a natural progression. Owned by the same company. Little known fact.
I've got it wrong. It's the Daily Star, not the Daily Mail.
Well, that's better then.
Your mind going, Grandad?
Keep this scene going until the end of the show.
Well, It turned into the Rugby Ramble for a bit, but I think we've got to the end of Football Ramble Extra, gentlemen.
Yeah, without you popping your clogs, old man. Yeah, woo, we're back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is a noise you might make.
I thought that was him, to be honest.
I thought it was a member of the FA you were in. Right, what do we do now? I can't think. Go to the website or iTunes.
You're probably just going out for a drive to the beach, just sit in your car, with a blanket on your legs.
As long as you're not there.
Just have a bit of a dawdle. I'll dawdle around the middle of the street so no one can get past
And
me.
I've got nothing on today, but I'll get up really early. That's what you'll be doing.
Hang around the shopping centre.
Yeah. Moaning.
Wearing beige.
I want the show to finish more than you do, listeners, but they won't let me. Thefootballramble.com is our website. You can go on the forum there and get
On
the main show.
internet.
I don't really understand it, but all the kids are doing it.
And why not go to something called iTunes, where you can get the show as well. Any more for any more?
I tune my hearing aid, something like that.
Does it have any insert wartime singer there? On this?
Vera Lynn.
Very Lynn.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like
Nothing wrong with Vera Lynn.
No.
Say goodbye, Jimmy.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Petey. And say goodbye, Lukey.
Why not send us an e-letter? podcast@thefootballramble.com.
And don't just write our email address on an envelope and stuff it in a letterbox. That's not how it works, Marcus.
Goodbye.
That's it. We're all off to be in the
Get a
daily
hip
stuff.
replacement? No, alright.
All's well that ends well. The moral of the story is kids and live football do not mix, and that's from Kevin Carruthers.
Kevin Carruthers, good to have him back.
Mm.
That and this goes on the theme, Pete. When you were at Fulham, of course, the young child was being restless and told that he's not going to come again. And children, football stadiums,
like pizzas,
not a good mix.
Pizzas, they're not interested, which is fair enough. You
They
know.
like their shoot magazine. That's fine. Let them
do.
stick the little posters on the wall. You know.
I'll still do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to end it now. I've
Really? Is
decided-
that a bit much?
Yeah.
Do you mean kill yourself?
Have you
The
got sad?
The show. Right, ladies
Sad
and gentlemen, that is the end of
Grandsad.
Football Ramble
Have you run
Extra.
out of words?
If you would like to get in touch with us, then the email address is podcast.
Actually,
Are all your friends-
don't have a full.
Are all your friends dead?
Have you not heard from your grandson recently?
Thefootballramble.com is the site, and why not
keep
get over there?
rambling.
Go to the forum. It's a wonderful place.
Forum's hot out. Why
go to the shopping
you
centre.
got so many jackets on?
Let's go to the shopping centre at 6
July.
in the morning.
Stop this.
Never.
England, if there's one thing Iniesta has learnt from England, it's technical ability.
Yeah.
But Xavi with 2 assists. What a cross for Piol's goal.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a fan of the Piol header. Semi-final.
Because he's a very short man, isn't he, Piol? He just looks like he should be.
He's about
big.
5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, that's quite short for a footballer.
He's got
For
a
a
barrel-
central defender.
Yeah, true.
He's got a barrel chest.
Yeah.
You won't want to mess with it.
I'm a big fan of Piol. I
Captain
really like
Caveman.
him.
Yeah, he is. There's a bullet header. He whipped his hair to whip it in.
They should have scored a few more, but Danny Alves was just pillaging his way down the road.
Did you when I saw bring it back to the Premiership a little bit? When I saw Silver's
Silver.
Oh, that
Silver's
was
goal
beautiful.
for Man
City.
City,
That was
where he-
unbelievable.
where he-
In and out. Andy
Beautiful.
Gray was loving that.
Yeah, no, he did his normal like player mind reading thing, but for about 5 minutes. Unbelievable.
I'm stopping it. I'm shooting. No, I'm not. I'm stopping. I'm calling it in.
I've
Thanks very much.
scored. Oh yeah.
I'm celebrating.
I meant to score as well. I never intended to miss, and I did, mate.
And Carlos Tevez comes up and said, "You scored, son." And he goes, "I know I have."
I meant to do it, Carlos. I know you did. I know you know because I was there.
I'm showering.
I'm going
Spanish.
home.
Have confounded expectations again.
I'm sleeping. I wish I could stop this,
Richie keeps going.
but I will, man.
We've got to stop. We've got to go. Show's finished.
Is that the final thought? Is it?
Back to Spain.
Back to,
And
Back
so
to
for
Spain.
Andy Gray's last word. I'm a massive ball bag.
Andy Gray's moment of clarity.
Everyone thinks I'm a ball bag.
Oh god, it's descended into immaturity. But I like it.
oh dear. Ball bags aside.
I remember doing my brain.
Lovely chaps and chapesses, it's profile time. Have you missed this, James?
I really have missed this.
Good. Jürgen Klinsmann.
Wow.
Oh, good.
As you say, Pete, against Sheffield Wednesday, I think it was his debut, league debut for Spurs. Towards the end of the game, they won 4-3, and he scored a great header, and he did the celebration, which is now called the Klinsmann dive.
Yeah.
I mean, that celebration, anybody in this country sees that dive celebration where you slide on your chest after scoring. We did a Klinsmann.
Have I ever detailed on the podcast how Jürgen Klinsmann was directly responsible for me breaking my elbow?
Tell us.
The old scar there, as you can see there.
You did it on AstroTurf, did you?
No, I was playing on.
Playing tennis.
Burn Valley and Hartlepool, scored a goal, tried to do a Klinsmann dive, basically wussed out of it at the last minute and put my arms out.
Oh, you've got to be committed.
You've got to go all in.
And basically my arm went the wrong way, and that bit of elbow there started floating down my arm. And the woman,
can that happen?
The bone lady in the northeast said that's the worst.
Just one?
That's the weirdest thing. She said that's the weirdest injury I've ever seen. Like, she'd never seen that part of the elbow fall off.
It's an odd scar.
In my head, he's gone over on like a rowing boat and then Misty sort of onto an island. Are you the bone lady? Why I am ye? Cross me palm with silvers.
But she was, so he directly made me break my elbow.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going in.
Round of applause for a broken elbow.
Anybody who influences Pete Donaldson breaking bones gets into the DWHoF Hall of Fame.
It's one of those old laws that hasn't been repealed yet.
It's a bylaw. Hartlepool bylaw.
Give me the email, silly.
Stop hogging them all.
Right, this is from Adam Woods, a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, hello, Adam.
All right, Woodsy.
He does not start with the usual pleasantries.
Greeting.
He simply writes the word complaint.
Then I'll say what I always say. How did that get through the net?
Anyway, Adam Woods writes in his complaint letter, I was listening to your Football Ramble podcast in my local bookies today. He's in Australia. Something funny was said, and I tried my best to stifle a laugh so that it came out as nothing more than a crooked smile. Usually fine, but not today. I had turned my face as I smiled and had unwittingly made eye contact with a man with fewer teeth than Nobby Stars in his pomp and whose breath stunk like cheap rum.
Oh.
He smiled back and said something. I had my headphones on, so I just smiled, nodded and tried to ignore him, turning my head back to the greyhounds. Unwilling to let the opportunity go, the man picked up his drink and joined me at my table. Oh Lord, here we go.
I hate people like that. Oh, you hear the voices in your head as well. Let's have a chat.
Suffice to say, the conversation was long, full of expletives and very smelly. Here are the highlights. Number 1, always bet on 2, 7 and 4 and 5 in a trifecta. It was a gambling thing. I used to work in a betting shop. When greyhound racing started, they had monkeys for jockeys.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah. If they want to get the odds up on a greyhound, they hold the hind legs of a dog whilst in the traps.
What?
And my favourite, there is a mathematical equation in this man's possession that can accurately predict the next 3 winners of the Premier League.
But only in 3 and a bit years, I would imagine.
That's really limited. I smiled, nodded and offered a sporadic, yeah, weird that, innit? But still the conversation lasted for more than half an hour. I now feel sick, and it's all the Football Ramble's fault.
Sorry about that.
Yours
Sorry,
in
mate.
disgust, Adam Woods.
There was a guy in the local pub where I used to live who used to be like this, and he'd always make all these stories up like that, and we called him Tony No Chance.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There's a guy in a pub I used to go to quite a lot that was known as Hated Martin.
That is brilliant. What brilliant.
That is superb.
Doesn't even work as a nickname.
I knew a guy called Talkative Mike who was just silent.
Was he?
Yeah.
I also know a guy who had a really large head who people used to call Sniper's Delight.
Our very own Lord Ramble is known sometimes as the social hand grenade.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
true.
that's
Yeah.
The productivity wrecking ball.
Oh, he doesn't do this very often. Oh,
My giddy aunt. Did you hear about the president of that French club? Lower league French club on a signed Messi.
He's been banned for that.
He has.
That's no sense of humour at all.
Well,
we've all got a bit drunk. Do the story, Marcus.
Well, he was pissed, and he tried to sort of. You have to sort of fill an online form in or something and submit it to the French Football Federation.
What, a bit of official bid sort of thing?
Yeah. This is kind of reminded me of Pete on eBay of an evening.
Honestly, when I get drunk, I mean, when you get drunk, you have it's carte blanche to try and get the prettiest girl in the nightclub. Surely,
I meant
if I'm not discussing setting up a business the very next day with a friend, I'm not drunk.
I've
always got big plans.
I've mentioned this before. My favourite Pete drunk purchase is a pair of $200 TV glasses from a vending machine at an airport.
Yeah, they were rubbish. And I forgot that I wear spectacles, so I had to put contact lenses in before I put the glasses on.
I'll tell you what, one day you're going to wake up in the morning, it's going to be messy at your front door.
Yeah.
Hola.
Yeah.
Oh, has this cost me 65 million euros? Oh, damn.
Pete Donaldson.
As he wakes up, like a credit card receipt stuck to him, and like Jim says, message just gone, see.
Trying to push him back into a vending machine.
Yeah, no, don't want you. I've got a 7-day calling off period.
Yeah, he'd be right wing for the Ramble team. You shoot yourself in the foot there.
Can you imagine if he just turned up? Oh,
yeah.
That's a ringer to end all ringers. The greatest footballer who's alive.
I had to go around to every single player in the other team with him and go, you see him? That's actually Messi. That's him.
Yeah, and that's Marcus.
Yeah. That's Paul Pescatelli.
on the subs bench.
Yeah.
Paul Pescatelli.
Thanks. I love what the French manager, the guy who owns the club said, the president, after all this, because he said, I have been suspended for 6 months. It was just a joke to amuse friends. I'm going to have to spend 3 of those months in the bar.
Brilliant. He's not made a mistake. Yeah. It's utterly human. It's brilliant. He should spend 3 months getting drunk, congratulating himself on such a brilliant weed.
Yeah.
Jimbo, I agree with
Endorsed.
you.
There's no way you should be shipping 4 goals.
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, at least 3 goals. And we had one chalked off, which is not offside.
I know Robin van Persie had a goal disallowed for offside, so I haven't seen it. So
it was a foot. It was a foot in front. He was definitely in front.
No, I didn't think there was daylight personally.
Is anyone else? What it was is it made the game was so good that it made. But the thing that made it even better was the fact that I couldn't stop thinking about Andy Gray watching it on telegram, just crying.
Yeah.
I reckon he was doing like the commentary to his wife.
Yeah.
It's
And I'm doing this because I've been sacked.
It's like the first weekend without them. And
I should be in the studio. And my wife said, I know you should.
Please get a job. I need you out the house.
It's not bad, this gardening leave, is it?
No, you can't smash me.
It's like the sport itself is so happy they've gone. It's risen its game.
It wasn't first weekend.
It wasn't just that game though. It was all over the place.
The Football League, the Premier League is now 33% better. That's what I was going to say. I certainly would, yeah.
Balotelli has been mental though. He recently threw a dart at a Manchester City youth team player.
Do you know what Prandelli said about that?
He said it was Eric Bristow-esque.
He said, next time you're bored, Mario, just give me a ring.
Super.
Did he
Go on, sorry,
are you talking about the restaurant?
I was going to go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, quite a posh restaurant, I believe, in Manchester. The Wayne Rooney's
Alleged.
sticking
that in there.
Alleged.
Strap yourself in. Here we go.
One of his alleged female friends, shall we say, Balotelli saw her and was chanting Rooney, Rooney.
Great stuff.
And not only that though, blowing raspberries, which I think is brilliant.
Oh, that's glorious.
Rooney. But the guy he was with was quoted as sort of saying, I squared up to Balotelli and stuff. And then you sort of think, right, this guy's a property developer. What relationship to this woman who is clearly a prostitute? Do you really want to be quoted in the newspaper in a restaurant with a broth, so to speak?
It's like you remember like a couple of weeks ago when we had I'm not going to name the player just in case, but a player who allegedly text messaged a picture of his appendage to the same woman who sold her story about Rooney to the paper.
Oh, Bobby Robson.
You don't. No.
Sir Bob.
But I was just thinking, you don't help yourself, do you?
No.
Look what she's done.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that long ago.
Think about it for half a second.
Yeah. Oh, John Joe Shelby, he's been at it as well.
Has he?
Tweeted a picture of his penis.
Tweeting?
How did you miss that? You're always on Twitter. I saw it.
Oh my
word.
I'm busy tweeting pictures on my own.
I was going to say,
But it was just a cutaway shot of his penis. His face wasn't in it as well, you know.
Yeah, but still, presumably it was from his account.
Yeah, exactly. There's no.
He may have left himself logged in.
Are you implying that you're mates with him and you went round there and tweeted a picture of your own appendage?
Neither.
Because you seem to be doing that.
Neither.
what about your appendix?
That would be altogether more difficult.
Yeah.
Hey, get home safe. Sorry. Anyway, the only question is, if you were in amongst that brawl, which perhaps you were, I don't know, who would, out of that West Ham squad, who would you like to be with you in the fight?
I would want the
specifically one player. Sorry.
The pale murderer Robbie Keane.
Pale
I can just if he was a boxer, I can imagine that as his name, because he was an amateur boxer, wasn't he? And he would stand up and fight.
He's an amateur striker at the moment.
Hey.
Someone told me once that a friend of mine, a girl. She said she was
Look, he knows a girl. Round of applause.
Yay.
Into the Dean Wendass Hall of Sex.
Luke is very good at being friends with girls. What does that say?
Oh dear.
Do carry on.
Go on.
She said she was standing in a bar in London and Robbie Keane came over to her.
London.
We're literally in London now. And Robbie Keane came over to her, started trying to chat her up, offered to buy her a drink. No.
I'll have the points now.
And then spat on the floor in front of her.
What? He did what?
He offered to buy her a drink, started chatting her up. When he thought she was like looking the other way, he spat on the floor.
What, like he was like on the pitch?
I guess,
clearing his nose.
Yeah, maybe they get so used to it they just do it everywhere.
Was it into a spittoon?
I don't think, I'm unconfirmed.
So
He was calling everyone in the stand, even though they were Fulham and Newcastle fans, cockney bastards.
Well, it was worse than that.
Yeah.
And then he picks on one guy who didn't. He picks on one and goes, and that goes for you too, Specky, as well.
And he had glasses himself. The guy. And he sort of went to take his own glasses off, and he just sacked it off.
But the guy was a Geordie.
Pete, you have got to learn to behave.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. I didn't tell you about the one before Christmas when I went to see them against West Ham, and there's a mosque right next door to West Ham, obviously, and there's a little passageway that you got to walk down if you're going to get a certain bus. And a load of I was in the away end, so I was walking with a load of Geordies, and there was these lads on the front of the mosque, sort of like not security guys, but I think they were security detail, and it just all went a little bit quiet. There's a bit of atmosphere, and then somebody just shouted, "Muslims are a Geordie." I couldn't stop laughing. It was the weirdest thing. Muslims are a Geordie.
They're an inclusive bunch.
Yeah.
You can't deny it.
Going out with a bang, aren't we?
Anyway, moving on swiftly to Survival Sunday.
Next week's the last show, so every cloud.
There was a relegation run-in.
I hadn't noticed.
Some teams got relegated, others didn't.
If you were in the Championship, you were like, piss off, Sky.
Yeah. They make
Survival Sunday!
Yeah.
They do make it sound like...
If you get relegated, you might as well be dead.
Relegated from the sport itself.
Relegated from life.
But is it days like that where you miss Gray?
No, it's days like that.
Me?
Exactly.
A man hewn from hyperbole.
It is days like those where I'm gladder than ever that he's
Do
gone.
you think?
Oh God, yeah.
Not even in a sort of you can laugh at them kind of way.
It was grating.
Yeah?
At the end, yeah.
Wigan said, "We're not going down today." I look at my job and my life. That's amazing.
I don't miss that. I don't miss the man just being smug about his life.
Oh dear. No, I really mean that.
It's one of my highlights of the season.
Yeah.
What that?
No, the Keys and Gray thing. Just, it's brilliant.
Alright, highlights of the season next week for the last show of the season. Yeah.
Giving yours away though. Yeah. Is that an email, Pete?
It is an email.
Are you going to read it?
It's from Paul Stringer.
String sir.
Afternoon ramble jockeys.
Alright, BP.
Afternoon ramble jockeys. Watching the hours of build up
intro.
to the Champions League final, and during the analysis of the Barca team, Jamie Redknapp referred to Gerard Piqué as Gerard Pecan.
Wow.
So he's basically wanted to come up with nut puns, basically, on footballers'
Is that
names.
right?
Something to do with Jamie's extraordinary tight trousers and nuts. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm going to start.
Go on then.
I haven't
Start.
thought about this. This is all off the cuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Alan Brazil nut.
Already got that one down.
I wrote that as well.
John Cashew.
In countdown style, I've got Alan Brazil as well.
I've only got. I went for Cashew as well, but I've gone for John Cashew.
Nice.
Has anyone seen whether a Premier League side are going to sign Craig Macadamia Smith from Peterborough?
Nice.
Do you now we've obviously mentioned FIFA there. You know, who did you really want as the FIFA president? He was touting his name around.
Hack Nutler.
No, Grant Walnut.
Nice. Alan Ballnut.
Theo Walnut.
Yeah, that works.
It's very walnut heavy.
How about this one? Richard Monkey Nut. Richard Keys. Richard Monkey's Nut.
Does it work? Andy Gray Nut. That doesn't work either.
No, Monkey Nut is a nut.
And I've seen the nuts, and I said, I'm having all of them.
Stick them in my cheek. I'll have them later on. Richard.
Does Acorn?
Richard.
Acorn.
Andy Gray.
That's enough, Jack. Well, no, I don't think it is enough. Carry on. Yeah.
Are we spent?
Is that the nuts?
Are our nuts spent?
I think so. Any more for any more?
That's it. I, for one, am very happy that the last thing we recorded this season is this.
Yeah.
It was just banter.